Okay, hello everybody. We are so excited today. We have a great guest speaker called Sheri Brynard who's going to encourage you today, who's going to talk to you. And I just know what she's going to say is going to inspire you. It's going to bless you. It's going to encourage you to be the better and the best version of yourself that you can be. Sheri is a national and international speaker, leader, motivational speaker for people with Down syndrome. And she basically just spoke all over the world. In a session, she will tell you where she has been. She also has a tertiary diploma in education, and she is a teacher here in our home city, Bloemfontein. We are so excited to have her, and we welcome Sheri today. A few things you guys can do to help us to go forward. You can like, subscribe, leave a comment, share this video to as many people that you can. And I want to thank everybody that are giving and that are contributing. We thank you a lot. So without any further ado, it is my great honor and privilege to welcome Sheri Brynard as she is going to address you today. Hope you guys enjoy.
Thank you, Albert, for inviting me to address you today. When I was born 40 years ago, my mother thought I would take a lot of effort to raise. That was before she understood that the Lord made me perfect in my own way. She soon realized that although I had changed her life in a way she did not choose, she was still free to choose her attitude. Sometimes our parents are still seen as people who have sinned and to have to be punished. That is why people used to hide the children in the town I was born, so that society could not judge them. When all my overseas and other appointments were cancelled by COVID, it was easier for me than for many other people because I am used to having setbacks in my life. But when I received an invitation to play a part in the soapie on TV, Married to Rugby, that was a dream come true. We must focus on all the blessings we have and not compare them with what we don't have. Ladies and gentlemen, I am trying to change general perceptions about people like me. I know people mostly abort their babies when they find out they would be like me. People asked my mother why she didn't abort me, and many told that luckily we don't live long. Ladies and gentlemen, luckily our life expectancy nowadays is about 70 years. My mother plans to look after me until we die together one day, which means that she might have to become about 95 years old. I wonder who is going to look after whom at that stage. And yet, ladies and gentlemen, what we do with our lives is an important choice we make. I try to make every second of my day count. Life is a wonderful adventure. You must just see it. All people die, but not all people really live. I accept failure. Everyone fails at something, but I cannot accept not trying or giving up easily. The greatest illusion is that life should be perfect. Years ago, no school following a mainstream curriculum was accessible to me. Principal said I would give their schools a bad name. My IQ was right, but my face wrong. When I was admitted into a mainstream school, at long last, no amendments were made for me. I was assessed and handled exactly the same way as the other learners. Regardless of that, My appearance still gave some children a chance to mock me because I looked different from them. When they bullied me, I answered, "Would you like to have my extra chromosome?" Somehow things worked out because in my last year in school, the children chose me as a class leader. I tried to stay nice to the bullies and made friends who are still special to me. But even today, I am still hurt by people who are nasty to people who are perceived as being different. You know, in reality, we are all different. That is what makes us unique. We must try to treat all people the way we want to be treated. Never speak down to any person. Self-confidence is important, but we should never think that we are better than anyone else. I have my own shortcomings, and I have to work on them every day. I am an introvert, and I do get irritated, and I can be stubborn, but that makes me human. Don't compare people. I compete with myself, not with other people. Comparing yourself is the biggest waste of time. All people have obstacles to overcome from time to time. I'm so lucky that mine has a name. I would have liked to be as bright as many other people, but I have learned to make the best of who I am. Can you say the same? Attending a mainstream school helped me to be the first person with Down syndrome to pass a mainstream grade 10 curriculum in South Africa. After leaving school, I attended a national technical college, and there I passed my grade 12 examinations. I was the first person with Down syndrome to be accepted there, and I never had a tutoring class to help me. The classes were presented in English, which I could hardly understand at that stage, and we wrote 3-hour papers which were set and marked externally. I passed the N6 course, the highest qualification at the college, and was awarded an education diploma. But dear ladies and gentlemen, you must realize that I had to work much harder than the other students. It was not always easy to pass. I failed some of my subjects and had to do them again and again and sometimes again. But I never gave up. I never felt sorry for myself. It is a waste of energy. I believe you are only a failure when you give up trying. But you know, ladies and gentlemen, I am also bright enough to pretend I cannot do something if I don't want to do it. I identify with the words of Nelson Mandela. You are the master of your fate and the captain of your destiny. That means that our attitude mostly determines who we will become. You cannot always change your circumstances, but you can change the way you look at them. You cannot change the direction of the wind, but you can adjust your sails to reach your destination. This attitude helped me to decide to accept what I cannot change in life. Ladies and gentlemen, if you think you will not achieve because of a disability or a disadvantage, it is sometimes nothing more than an excuse. I have lived a full life, regardless of many obstacles. Helen Keller was born blind and deaf, and still she passed a university training with success, and she made a great impact on the world. I believe that most failures come from people who make excuses for themselves. No person with a disadvantage should be excluded from opportunities to develop, but we must also work hard to reach our true potential. I do so every day, and I try to inspire others to do the same. People tried to fit me into their boxes. I made my own box, and I stopped trying to please everyone. I am me, and I determine what I do with my challenges, and only I can decide to change them into opportunities. You can do the same. I have written a book about my life, which was launched in my home language, Afrikaans, and also in English. In my book, I highlighted the fact that people should never give up hope. With support and motivation, you will be able to do many things. Don't focus on what you cannot do, but on what you can do. I am so happy to work as an assistant teacher. For the last 12 years, I have worked at a school for learners with intellectual disabilities. Education was my field of study. I helped the teacher with lessons and to stimulate the learners. When the teacher has other responsibilities, I take her place, and I enjoy that so much. I cannot have my own children, so the children in my school fill a huge empty space in my life. I have been blessed with wonderful opportunities. Apart from being chosen as South Africa's Women of the Year in the category Youth Movers, I have had the opportunity to address conferences of the United Nations in New York and in Geneva, Switzerland. During those speeches, I advocated for the rights of disadvantaged people and people with intellectual disabilities all over the world. I feel so blessed that the Lord can use me just the way I am. My extra chromosome has given me wonderful opportunities, except for meeting Oprah. I have also been asked to address international conferences in India, Scotland, Jerusalem, Wales, Switzerland, and Brighton outside London. It was also awesome to address a conference of the Royal Society of Medicine and students of the King's College in London. I also had the opportunity to address the universities of Oxford, Canterbury and Cambridge in England. In New Zealand, I was interviewed on a national television program. They invited me after I had addressed community and school functions in New Zealand. It was stressful because it was a direct broadcast, and you know, English is my second language. I have my own radio program on a local radio station called MetFM. Some highlights in 2021 were interviews with Ansala Ramyas, who is the National Executive Director of Down Syndrome South Africa. I have also interviewed Yolandi Koki. The lady was held hostage in Yemen for 8 months. I also had the opportunity to do an interview with Harold Verster, who was the Managing Director of Free State Rugby. During COVID in 2021, I was blessed to do international virtual presentations. I again addressed the UN on World Down Syndrome Day in New York and in Geneva. I also spoke at the World Down Syndrome Conference in Dubai. In London, I addressed the World Advanced Nursing as well as the International Public Health Meeting. To top it all, I was very fortunate to address the Putney School in London. I could motivate them to do their best. I am happy to be part of research done by the researchers of the Lyme Downs Project in London to help find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. These researchers of the King's College have been doing research on me for the last 7 years. They hope to try to help cure people with Alzheimer's disease. I enjoy being part of the steering committee of the Guide Young Athletics Project. This is an initiative of the Paralympic Committee funded by Bill Gates. We meet every 2 weeks to plan interventions to physically develop toddlers with intellectual disabilities. We strive to help them live a better life. I believe our main purpose on earth is to serve. We are never too disabled or too young or too old to be of service to other people. I enjoy visiting a woman with Down syndrome. She is my age and lives in an old age home without her family. She cannot do anything for herself, but she can hug me back. I cannot make her speak, but I can make her smile. If we can make the people around us happy, it gives our life purpose. When my father died more than 20 years ago, I thought that I would never be happy again. He slipped and fell off a waterfall. They only found his body about a month later. I could never say goodbye to him. I knew my life would never be the same without him. But I decided to accept what I cannot change in life. If you stand up one more time, then you fall down, you're a winner. Remember, the past cannot be changed, but the future is still in our hands. Sure, my heart was broken. How can your heart not break when you lose a loved one? But broken hearts are what give us strength and understanding and compassion. I pray for guidance every day. And after my father died, I also prayed for the strength to carry on with my life. I try so hard to focus on the future and to let go of the sad things in my past. Sometimes it is a decision you must make. When my family is with me, I can only hold out my hand and someone will always help me. May our dear Father provide you with the people and structures you need when you have to hold out your hand. Or even better, may there be times that it will be your hand that will help people over the hurdles of life. Remember, you cannot help everybody, but everybody can help somebody. Life has no guarantees. If you want guarantees, buy yourself a kettle. The truth is, life has happiness and sadness, but We must all be proud of who we are. It depends on us, on what we do with our lives. How we respond to loss and pain is a choice. But somehow, we must all move on. Don't ever waste precious time. Thomas Edison, the man who invented the light bulb, had to leave school at a young age. His mother told him that it was because he was a genius and far too bright for school. Years later, he became one of the greatest inventors of the century. One day he came across the letter of his old teacher. The letter read, "Your son is intellectually disabled. We cannot teach him at school. He is expelled." He wrote in his diary that night, Thomas Edison was an intellectually disabled child with someone who turned him into a genius by believing in him. Often, a positive word can change a person's destiny. I believe our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. In my life, the elevator to success has been out of order and I had to use the stairs. With a lot of prayers and hard work, everything worked out for me. So, if it hasn't worked out for you yet, just keep on trying. Remember to believe in yourself. If you think you can't, you can't. Always set your aims as high as possible. We have all got this one precious life. What are we going to do with it? Today, a person with Down syndrome challenges you to be the best you can be. I conclude with Samantha Higgins. Please, don't judge me by my face, by my religion, or my race. Please, don't laugh at what I wear, how I look, or do my hair. Please, look a little deeper, way down deep inside, behind my smile. I softly cry. Please, look a little deeper, and maybe you will see what's inside of me is what's inside of you. Thank you.